Hi folks, and welcome back to the Woodland Orchard, and today something a little bit different. We're going to take a look at a community allotment in the centre of Hull. The site is Constable Street Community Allotment. It's been created on the site of a demolished school, and it brings permaculture and homegrown food direct into the heart of an inner city area. This half-acre allotment is the vision of local resident Lisanne Tranter. Along with John Pickles and a group of volunteers, this team have transformed the site with an infrastructure that includes a roundhouse, 2 polytunnels, a cob oven, a compost toilet, a wildlife pond, a food forest, and of course 50 square yards of veg beds. And I started by asking Lisanne just how this all got started.
Well, because I just asked. All this was a school originally till they demolished it, and there's a playing field next door to us, a wild sort of open space. We started trying to have little growing beds for children over there, but of course it was open and they were forever getting vandalised and what have you, and it was a nightmare, but we kept trying. This part of the big field was fenced off because it became a builder's compound, and then when the builders finished, I said to one of the councillors from what used to be Parks and Gardens, I think, what are you doing with this space when the builders have gone? And he said, well, why? What do you want us to do with it? So I said, well, I think it'd be nice to have a community allotment. And to my surprise, he said, okay then, I'll get you the keys. And that was it. So we just inherited this bit of land from where the builders has been. There was nothing on it really, apart from the tree, which the builders offered to cut down before they left, and we said, don't you dare chop that tree down, and they didn't. And then they offered it a second time. I said, no, definitely not. And the rest is history really.
But apart from the tree, was it fairly rough ground, having been a builder's compound?
Well, we've still got sort of the road bit and bits of concrete, which actually isn't by choice, but it's quite handy because we've got ready-made paths which are useful for wheelchair access. And because it was in the builder's contract that they had to sort of put it back to how it was before, they said that they were going to grass it over, plant loads of grass, and I said, oh no, we don't want grass. And so actually they sowed wild cabbage and rape. So we were lucky because that was a fantastic thing to dig in, you know, like a sort of green.
Yeah, it was a good ground prep.
It was a good start for the soil. And then we've just carried on over the years trying to improve it. We're an organically maintained site. We don't use any chemicals or anything like that. We're a no dig site, and we adhere to the permaculture principles with everything we do.
And I think it's fair to say it's not perhaps the easiest environment to try and get people involved in this kind of activity, is it?
It's a poor area. It's classed as one of the most deprived areas in Hull, which I don't like to think of it because I've lived here a long time, and there's a lovely community, but the majority of people really, well, they haven't got gardens, and so you'd think that people who haven't got a garden would want to come here, but I think the fact that they haven't got one means that they just haven't got any interest. They just think, oh, it's not for us. So it's quite difficult to attract people, and then we say to people, come and grow your own veg, and they'll look quite horrified and say, well, we don't eat veg, which sadly is also the case. I think in an area where people are sort of scraping the pennies together, they will eat the sort of cheapest food available, which, even though free veg is, well, free, it hasn't quite, I don't think they've quite got it yet. So we're trying to encourage people to try veg and eat more, and we want to try and do more down that avenue. They come to lots of the local people come to our events and they really enjoy them. And the kids, we always do an Easter egg hunt, which the kids love. Halloween, they love to come and make costumes. Sometimes we just do pizza days.
And it's these events, including an annual Permaculture Open Day, which form the primary point of contact with the site for many local people. The events feature local musicians such as the Cox Brothers, 10-Foot Ukes and the Snake Oil Chimers, as well as talks and demonstrations on permaculture and related topics. So for example, I've given a talk on bringing woodland into your life. Matt Ralston has delivered biochar demonstrations and talks about rocket stoves, and Maria and Trev came along to talk about cordage and to provide demonstrations of green woodworking. And Alan Raw from BBC Radio Humberside has covered the events for the local radio station. And of course there's always the opportunity to volunteer on the site and get involved in growing your own food. And we caught a quick chat with Catherine to talk about volunteering on the site.
Okay, my name is Catherine. I came to Hull this year, January. And after 2 weeks, I started volunteering here at Constable. Yeah, I've been coming here, doing weeding, preparing of beds, planting of seeds. As you can see, we prepared everything, and everything is grown. Like now is harvesting time, and we are so happy. So when we are coming here, we are weeding, and we are going away with our produce, and we are happy. I've been happy.
And surely there can be no better way of summarising the joys of growing your own food than simply to say it makes you happy. So I hope you enjoyed that. I find that site really inspirational, and the work that Lizanne and the rest of the team are doing there just absolutely amazing, really inspirational. No doubt there'll be more to come in the future from Constable Street, and of course we've got video in the can from other sites that will be up on the channel in the next few months, and there's more material coming from the Woodland Orchard itself, of course. Yeah, hope to see you again. Thanks for watching, and keep in touch.